reporting the agenda for June 13th in terms of the meeting. The village board meeting started at 7 o'clock with the call to order, Pledge of Allegiance, and then there was a roll call, and all colleagues were in attendance except for Trustee Maria Toth. There was the approval of the minutes, and then there were some very, very special reports. There was a swearing-in ceremony for various members of the Morton Grove Fire Department, and Mike Simpkins, who's chairman of the Fire and Police Commission, led the group after a discussion by Fire Chief Tom Friel about the plans that these individuals went through in terms of earning their particular positions. Who was sworn in were Stephen Morton, firefighter paramedic, Mike Mitchell, fire lieutenant, and Scott Exo, district fire chief. After the swearing-in ceremony, there was a presentation by Mr. Edler of Edler Warehousing, who's been in the community for over 40 years, wanted just to come up just to thank the village and the board for all the good things that he has gotten through the community by his involvement in business in the community. It was a very, very nice presentation, and we were most appreciative on behalf of the mayor and the board. There was a Plan Commission report by Ron Farkas, who was the chairman, Plan Commission Case 1102, which required a special use permit for a fitness facility at the 7300 Dempster Street, which is a shopping center over on Harlem and Dempster. During public hearings, there were just a couple of comments made by some of the individuals, and we went to the President's report. Excuse me. Under the President's report, President Stackman reappointed a number of individuals from various commissions. I'm not going to go through their names, but it was the Appearance Commission, the Board of Environmental Health, Natural Resources, Cable and Telecommunications, Economic Development, Fire and Police Commission, and Police Pension Board. The names would be available if you are interested by looking at the website on the Morton Grove website, or you can call the village for the individual names. He also requested confirmation of the appointment of Grant Gilbert and Mary Bush as Vice Chairman of the Natural Resources Commission for the remainder of the year 2011. All of the commission reappointments were approved by the village board. Under staff reports, village administrator gave us a reminder that the Waukegan Road Lehigh Ferris Tax Increment Financing District's public hearing will be on June 28th at 10 a.m. on the second floor of the Trustees Conference Room. And then there was a presentation by Chief Mark Erickson on the new animal control ordinance that was being presented as a response to some of the concerns by some of the members of the village. Under the report by trustees, Trustee Gomberg had a number of ordinances he introduced. Many of them were second readings. One was amending Title VI, the Village of Morton Grove's Municipal Code, entitled Offenses Against Property. Another ordinance, 1116, had to do with entitled Monetary Penalties and Fines for Specific Violations and Offenses. Ordinance 1117 had to do with Traffic Administration and Enforcement. Ordinance 1118, which was also a second reading, had to do with the municipal code entitled Prohibited Equipment or Condition. These were all second readings, and they all passed. He then went on to another second reading, Ordinance 1119, which was the Animal Code, a revision of the Animal Code Ordinance, which was explained, and it also passed. I should mention in the Animal Code Ordinance that this was, again, in response to community involvement, and we did hire a part-time CSO officer who was going to be in charge of animals in terms of displaced animals, lost animals, and is, again, a response to the concerns of the community. Ordinance 1120 was the first reading, which was entitled Abandoned, Inoperable, Hazardous, and Unlawful Vehicles. Many of these ordinances were updating previous ordinances or changing some of the vehicle fines or violations to be more in tempo with what current conditions are. Trustee Marcus, yours truly, had a couple of ordinances with first reading, which means no action will be taken. One was Ordinance 1122, establishing the prevailing rate of wages for laborers, mechanics, and other workers in the village employed in performing construction of public works for the village. And Ordinance 1124, also a first reading, which was entitled Restricted Parking Streets of the Municipal Code. Trustee Thill had one ordinance, Ordinance 1123, again first reading, which no action was taken, was just being introduced. His ordinance basically granted a special use permit to allow a physical fitness facility at the property located at 7300 Dempster, which I mentioned earlier in the program. Then we had the presentation of warrants. The warrants were $611,691.58. And that was passed after some questions. Then resident comments, Georgie M. Bruner came in, and Georgie M. Bruner is the chairman of our Morton Grove Days Committee with our July 4th celebration, which is a wonderful celebration, and talked about the various ways in which you can participate. There will be a raffle. They're going to be raffling off $2,000. You can buy tickets. They're $5 a piece, or I think 5 for $20 at the Village Hall or CVS Pharmacy. And they'll be also selling them at various spots throughout the village. And of course, they'll be also selling all-day rides, special tickets at the carnival that will be there for the 4 days starting July 1st of this year. Under residents' comments, that was the only resident comments. The meeting was then adjourned around 8:25. Again, for any other information you would require or need, please contact the Village of Morton Grove's website. It's www.mortongrovil.org. That's www.mortongrovil.org. Our next meeting will be June 27th at 7 p.m., and we hope you'll be able to turn in and listen to that or attend the meeting at the Village Hall. Thank you, and have a good day.